to be added later if they so determine.
Yes.
All right. This is Pauper to the People, episode 159. My name's Chris, and I don't play Magic anymore. With me is with me is the guy who all too willingly gave up his hosting duties. We have Nate.
Hello.
The man whose language always makes Mikey laugh. That's Dan.
Hej, Dan här. Jag spelar fortfarande Magic.
And you unruly classmates need to address him as Mr. Olmscheid. It's Peter.
Hello.
How's it going, guys?
Pretty good.
Fantastic.
I'm a bit sad.
You are. I know. It was a long thought out and tough decision to make, but we feel it's in the best interest of everything involved for right now. So
Yeah.
But I will say this: looking through my files to try and get all this stuff put together, I'm going to be freeing up a lot of hard drive space on my laptop once we're done doing this show.
Well, when you've done when you do 160 episodes,
Probably closer to like 130, 140 that I've been on myself,
Yeah.
but the majority. So we should also mention that Mike will not be with us tonight. He's got some personal stuff and needed to get some rest and relaxation.
yep, he will
So
be.
we wish him the best.
Yes, he'll be with us next week for the last show.
We have the potential of being joined by one Chris Weaver, Chris 2.0, and also one Brennan, not Brendan, but Brennan. So if they pop in, if they end up showing up, we're going to add them to the call. Otherwise, we're going to run with the four of us for right now.
Yep.
So, gentlemen, how's your week been?
Pretty good.
Okay. Moving
Can you
on.
elaborate?
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. Pretty good. Just doing stuff with EDH and sorting my Magic cards because I actually got them all sorted by set. Now I'm just play setting everything. I'm gonna album up my entire collection just to play set because I just play EDH now. There's no need to play it, no need to keep it more than a play set.
Yep.
So just going through that, and I've found money cards within my collection I did not even know I had. So
It's funny how that happens.
yeah. So that's about all I've been up to.
Dan, how has your week been?
Normally, under these circumstances, I would have been sitting in a corner crying, but I got a new dog. I haven't had a dog ever, so I have a puppy, and that has been
kind of puppy?
occupying quite a lot of my time.
What type of breed did you get?
It's a Chinese crested powder puff. That's a Chinese naked dog, but it's not naked. So it has hair instead of fur.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to clean it a lot, but it's like softer than a cuddly a toy animal.
As someone who has a Jack Russell Terrier, I know well about tiny dogs and how they can drive you nuts. So, but they're also, it's fun to have someone that can sit on your lap.
Yep.
Peter,
Me?
what it
I've been
is.
busy. I've been doing a lot of teaching because testing's coming up. So, like Tuesday through Friday, I've been putting in hours extra after my regular work of just teaching kids and getting ready for testing, and same with
Excellent.
adults too.
So what grade level are you teaching at?
Oh, I'm a martial arts instructor, not a grade teacher. But
Martial
when it comes
arts
to people,
instructor.
yes. So, I teach anywhere from young kids to people who are older than myself. So,
Excellent.
What martial
Okay.
arts?
Yeah.
right now I'm working with Taekwondo. Otherwise, I usually do kickboxing and stuff like that too.
Nice.
You're gonna open up your own studio and teach?
Yep. End of
When's
the year.
that happening?
Cool.
End of the year, hopefully September.
Because then I can sign up.
Is your knee gonna be hold up this time?
Huh?
Is your knee gonna be able to hold up?
Yeah, we'll see. We're gonna give it a shot. I need to do
Take
something.
it easy.
I need to do something to lose some of this fat.
Nate,
Taekwondo seems to be a bad choice for if you have knee problems.
I would say this, I had knee problems myself. It's all in. it eases. Say if the teacher does it right, you can ease yourself into it. That you can actually use it as rehabilitation because that's actually how my knee has gotten stronger
Oh,
for the most part.
nice.
So if you train properly and don't go full bore and try and do stupid things, you should be able to strengthen those joints up again.
Okay.
Just because like half the thing too is everyone's like, oh, you hop in and start doing your kicks. Like, no, like the guy who teaches me and everything like that, who got me set up to teach it myself, is a large portion of the class too is just how to condition and get your body ready to do stuff in case. Well, because if you are going to use it as an art to defend yourself, you're going to need to be able to physically condition to be able to do stuff. And so like a part of the class goes to just conditioning in your body ready to do physical work.
Yeah.
So it's not just people who aren't used to activity going in there doing stuff and finding a way to get themselves hurt. So that's fun.
I'm more of a student of the arts of redneck jujitsu, which is where you just kind of tear your shirt off and then brandish a gun.
That works.
It works. It works surprisingly well.
Scare people works.
No,
Yes, it does.
I'll let the bigger guys in the band beat this guy up that's giving me a hard time. That's really what I'm the guy that goes, I got 9-1. You just say the word and I'll press that other one and hit send and then we'll get this taken care of, guy. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Best way to dissolve a lot of conflicts, like for people who like want to jump other people, they're nervous half the time. So a really good way to do it is just make eye contact with people. So it's a fun thing to do just walking down the street is just make eye contact with people because they feel awkward as heck and it's hilarious to watch.
Do you lick your lips after you make eye contact?
Usually not because that can be misconstrued either one of two ways.
Do you lick their lips?
They're not being invited out to
Oh.
dinner afterwards.
Dan has a prudent question.
Do you lick their lips?
Oh, depends.
Because then they would be uncomfortable.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that's breaching that whole comfort zone. Just really walk up, stare at them, and start licking their lips. Just
You might be the one going to jail at that point.
as I say, I'm pretty sure you're breaking a couple laws at that point. However, I'm pretty sure they no longer want to conflict with you.
Yeah, yeah, no, they don't.
You know what, man? I don't care. I'm just out of here. Just,
You know what? Thinking
Dude.
about it, you're not worth fighting.
Another thing that works really well is just lift your shirt up slightly and then just kind of trace your finger around your belly button.
God damn.
So,
So magic.
yeah, guys, what's going on in the news? I see that we have Pauper Gauntlet Season 2 starting up.
Yeah, I figured that I was undecided for a long time, but now we have a new website and I had Pauper to the People, so I figured, I can reach a lot of Pauper players. Let's do a second season of the Pauper Gauntlet starting August 31st. So on August
Yeah.
31st, there will be a call for decks. So brew Pauper decks and talk to me on MTGO Library. And you can also check out magicgatheringstrat.com that launched 2 days ago. It's
Pretty killer site redesign.
no, it's MTGO Strat is still around. Magic Gathering Strat is quite different. The only writers are signed on, they are paid, and they have to deliver articles every week. There's also an indexing service, so we index all good Magic articles on the web, so it will be like a portal to the Magic web.
Are you guys going to just do articles or you're putting podcasts on?
No podcast so far.
Okay.
If we did, they would have to do an episode every week.
Because I got a podcast.
Yeah, I know. We're also going to run a league because we don't want to wait until Wizards actually deliver the leagues. So
Yeah.
there is a Silver Black League starting on magicgatheringstrat.com. So if you're into Silver Black, if you're not, you should be because you're listening to Pauper podcast, and Silver Black is a bit like Pauper Deluxe. You get to play with inexpensive cards, but you get to play with all the commons and uncommons. So not many. Path to Exile is the most expensive card in the format, except for the daisies and stuff from Pauper. So it's a pretty
Does any-
interesting format.
It
Any-
interests me.
Any interesting changes with Silver Black with the Vintage Masters stuff being released online, or is that kind of
I haven't looked at
still
it
up in the
yet,
air?
actually, so I don't know.
I see a lot of stuff on my Twitter feed about people freaking out because they own Power on MTGO, and it's really weird seeing it in their collections. So
Yeah, I bet.
Oh, gentlemen, it looks like Mikey might be joining us.
Oh,
I just got a message from him.
Really?
Yeah, he texted me outside of the call itself, so someone try to invite
Okay, I
him?
guess I'll add him. You guys just keep going, I'll add him.
one last thing about the new site, magicgatheringstrat.com. I am not running the site. There are other people running the site, and I'm just franchising the name, but it's gonna be tightly connected to the YouTube channel. So I'm a writer on there, but I don't I don't work as an editor or something, so I'm not the primary contact for the site.
Fucking long.
Mikey K.
I have to edit that sentence, Dan, because Mikey came on and swore in the middle of it. So if you wouldn't mind repeating that would be fantastic.
Yeah. One more thing regarding magicgatheringstrat.com. I am not the editor of this site. I only write for it. I have franchised the name for the site, so other people are running it. But I'm on the site as a writer, and I'm doing indexing for the finance articles. So check it out.
Wait, are we recording right now?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh. Well, fuck.
Since hours and hours.
All right. Save the F-bombs for our podcast.
God damn it. I'm sorry. I thought I was on time.
No, you're
Well,
fine.
we kind of started early because we didn't expect you to be here.
I had a rough day, but I didn't want to miss the podcast for you guys. I'm sorry. I should have called.
It's
worries.
okay. It's okay.
Blame Nate.
We all do.
It's always my fault.
Oh, Bren on Skype is not working. got the menu from it.
I have at least 100 different episodes that would like to prove that wrong, Nate.
What? Don't worry about it.
Zon, are we inviting him too?
I don't know. But okay, that
Awkward silence.
awkward silence. Where are we?
We're at the metagame. I was content to let you guys go because if we lose listeners, I don't care. No.
And the truth comes out, gentlemen.
Nope,
Hi,
not true at all.
Peter.
All right, Pauper Classic Tuesdays. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we have here?
We got.
This happened on the 10th of June, 2014, so 6 days ago.
We have the same goddamn decks we had last
It's
week.
the same lists, pretty much. White Weenie, Delver, another Delver, Grim Teachings, Tier 3 Pauper Goblins.
The hell does... I'll look at it.
Interesting. What do we got here? We got Founder Street Denizen, good card.
Oh, he's playing
Sparksmith.
Sparksmith. That's why he called
He's
it.
playing Sparksmith. Okay, the bad
Or
card.
Sparksmith.
It's bad.
What the hell is this?
And we got...
Scouring Sands.
whoa, this
What?
is interesting. This is Rug, but it isn't Affinity.
Oh, the Rug Delver deck. Yeah, that was a deck that was posted. I forget the name of the person because it was so long ago. It was early in my Pure TGO
Yeah.
writings. He posted, I forgot his name, but he posted a deck called Rug Delver, and actually there was a person who I will not name, but he's in the comments and it's not hard to figure it out, actually kind of called this deck a joke, which
Yeah.
was very uncalled for, but I don't think this deck is a joke. I always like this deck, but I can never get it to work.
Well, he top-8'd with it, so it's not that much of a joke.
Yeah, basically what it is, it works a lot like the old school Threshold decks in Legacy. Dan, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay, way back in the day before Delver was a card, Legacy used to have the best deck in Legacy was called Threshold, and the reason why it was called Threshold is because the main win conditions in the deck were Nimble Mongoose and Werebear.
Yeah.
Which this deck is playing 4 of them, and he's playing 4th Scythe Tiger. And that is,
Is
that
that
is
the
not
3-2 Shrouder?
yes, that's not a typo.
Ooh,
I like
a
Scythe.
3-2
I like
Shroud
Scythe.
deck?
Choice.
3-2 Shrouder.
Yeah, he's basically Nimble Mongoose, man.
That
you
is
only
brutal.
need, you only need like 2 lands to survive in this. I mean, he has Burst Lightnings, Flame Slashes, couple Mana Leaks. He has 4 counter spells, though, which I personally never thought counterspell worked in this deck, but I will admit that I was wrong in the end. Playing Ponder, Preordain, because suck it, Modern. Vapor Snag, couple of Spell Pierce. Like, the real strength of this deck is the fact that it preys on the kind of like... It preys on White Weenie, because White Weenie usually can't really do much about it. Oh, wait, they're Squadron Hawk. Of course they can do something about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it preys on Tron... Oh, wait a minute. It can't really be Fangren Marauder. What about Mono Black? No, they have Edict effects.
Mono Blue Control. If you resolve the early
Shrek,
Scythe Tiger.
I think the fact that...
No, they have Spire Golem.
Yeah, but you could do a ton of damage before they can cast the Spire Golem.
Yeah, Scythe Tiger is something that they can't interact with. Like, back when I... Remember that blue-white Delver deck thing I did with the blue-white Shroud guy that was first strike?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Death Duelist.
When I would... Yeah.
I hated that card early in my Pauper.
when I played that in the tournament practice room, I could win games with it, and Delver decks hated that card.
Yeah, but you're not sacking a land to get him out.
Yeah, but Delver decks just hated... I'd go against Delver players, and they hated that card because they couldn't do anything about it, and it was first strike.
I mean, the real strength of this deck is really, all joking aside, is it preys on the aggro decks. Because aggro decks aren't very good at dealing with a 2-mana 4/4 and a 1-mana 3/2 flyer. And certain control decks can't deal with a, certain control decks can't deal with a 1-mana 3/2 Shroud guy. I'll admit that. But I mean, if you look at his mana curve, it's all 1s and 2s, and all of his cards are value, right? Like, he's not playing Spellstutter Sprite, he's not playing Cloud of Fairies, he's not playing Ninja of the Deep Hours. He's playing more powerful cards for the same cheap cost. Yeah, that's why this deck is so good.
Yeah, you're basically just hitting and striking while everyone else is setting up.
So two things I want to cover. First, we need to welcome Brennan onto the show. How's it going?
There he is.
Hey.
Hey.
I fought technology and I won this time.
That's awesome.
I fought technology.
Yay, me.
I won. I fought technology and I won.
Yay, me.
Shout out to the dead Kennedys.
We're taking a look at the Pauper Classic Tuesdays metagame, reviewing the Rug Delver deck. And my question for you guys is, what do you want to see for an opening 7? Like, what kind of mana are you wanting to start with? Are you wanting to start with blue or green?
I'd say green.
Well, it depends. Like, a really good hand would be like a forest and a Scythe Tiger, and then you have probably like an island and a Preordain and a Delver, and I would say a Terramorphic Expanse and like either a Vapor Snag or a Mana Leak. But another good hand would be like Island, Mountain, a Flame Slash, a Delver, a Preordain. Like you typically want to keep hands that have Preordains and Ponders because you want to be able to sculpt your deck correctly. Because the later the game goes, the better you are because you're drawing so much gas.
Okay.
Like this deck heavily relies on running your opponent out of gas and capitalizing on it and giving them the least amount of turns to make any comeback whatsoever. I think like if you were going to beat this deck, the best way to beat this deck would be like a mono green aggro, but apparently he proved me wrong because he beat Deluxikov in round 4 with Deluxikov's green deck, so I have no idea what I'm talking about apparently. Isn't that awkward?
Fair enough.
You go Flame Slash, they go Giant Growth, and they're 2/2. What are you supposed to do about it?
Oh. Quit playing Magic?
Yeah. Do more damage.
Haven't we all technically done that already?
Quit playing.
Not quite, but soon. Just kidding.
Nah.
What?
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 Huh?
Sorry.
What?
What?
Who?
Just like old times, isn't it,
Well,
Chris?
Yeah, this.
No, what the heck's going on anymore?
Just thinking
Stop
about
the
what it is.
show! Where
Regroup.
am I? Where am
What's
I?
going? What's going to go
Anyway,
into editing this show?
The exact top 8 was words are hard. Kelevra 6. I apologize if I'm pronouncing his name wrong. With White Weenie, and if you look at his deck, it is a typical White Weenie deck with Aven Rift Watchers, which I find to be quite hilarious. And he's got 4 Bone Splitter, which I approve. He didn't lose a single goddamn match.
wow.
What a warrior. What a warrior. Okay, anyway. Second was Torith with his Delver deck. You know, whatever. Next was Burn Boy Bingham. I love saying that. Burn Boy Bingham with Delver. And then Obzin again with his Grim Teachings deck. And then you have the Goblins deck, then the Rug deck. Deathwind is playing the Goblin deck. And DRL, is that an underscore? Or is that a space? No, DRL space Stillinger. Okay. It's playing the Rug deck. And then you have 2 MBC decks. One by Scion of Justice and the other one by Gons again.
Gons really likes that mono black control, doesn't he?
He really
his
does,
thing.
actually. I mean, I think there was like a 3-week period where long time gone was like top 4ing consistently, and Gons was like, all right, I'm switching off Affinity. Because I remember him playing Affinity. Scion of Justice, I mean, he just plays whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
I thought Deluxikov quit. Or so that goes the rumor.
He has been playing a ton of Modern.
No, I mean, I thought he quit Pauper. I didn't say Magic.
Yeah, I've never seen him in a PRE before.
Yeah, this is the first PRE I've ever seen him in. Oh,
Yeah.
PK was in it, but he did not have it all.
It's because he played as it. That's the thing.
We love
He's been playing one of his goofy 3-color decks.
Yeah.
All right, so we also have a standard Pauper that took place on June 9th.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll let Brendan cover that one.
I believe this is Brennan's department.
Yeah, I have spoken about this particular event with Vault Boy Hunter, but we went over this, and as you can see, the top number 1 is an Orzhov deck, which surprises me quite a bit. It's a pretty good deck. It's heavy on the black. It only uses white for Oromancer, the Disciple of Phoenix activation, or the Disciple of Phoenix, or excuse me, Scholar of Athreos, and then Keening Apparition. There's not too much in there, but it just uses that little bit of recursion. It does a lot because it uses the removal enchantment. You know, as enchantments as removal with the Stab Wound and
Quag Sickness.
Isn't
There you
Stab
go.
Wound more of a win condition also, though, just because they'll lose to life?
You know, so many people expect it. I don't think there's not a whole lot of playing with 4 or 3 toughness or greater anymore. Or
Yeah.
without some sort of enchantment removal specifically for Stab Wound. It was such a big bad enemy when it first, hit the scene that
I
everybody.
think the only real deck that still plays with like larger than 3 toughness creatures is like the Cyclops deck, because it uses the 4 Cyclopses and the weirds or whatever still. So
Right.
that's always
Now,
just
weird-
free damage on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, weirds you can, suicide them, get rid of that. But then in second place, we had Green-White Heroic. It says Heroic, but really is let's see, Wingsteed Riders Heroic, and then who else? Is that it? Yeah. I wouldn't really call this Heroic. But Green-White enchantments, enchant creatures seems a little more apt. Oh, Skyguard, excuse me.
Yeah.
Skyguard, which is pretty good. Anyway, that was in second. The 2/4, a Boros and a mono black. Godzo there with the mono black. He called it Black Touch. again, little. I don't know why. There's only one death touch, but that's fine. Whatever. Oh, death gaze. There's two.
I'm sorry, I just had a really bad thought in my mind after you said the black touch.
Oh,
Oh, come on, Mike.
Hey.
Why? Come on, you. Just
What?
because I'm the only one with balls to admit the fact that I was actually thinking it, you were all thinking it.
I wasn't.
I wasn't.
Yeah. I'm
Must
just.
be a New York thing.
I'm
What's the
trying
deal
to-
with the Blood Baron in this deck? Is he like trying to?
Yeah, he's trying to get cute with it.
Yeah, cause like I'm looking at this deck and Blood Baron just doesn't fit the deck. Like I can see why he has the Gray Merchants, but Blood Baron. But I'm thinking if you're relying on Blood Baron Gray Merchant, you could have won the game already.
Because it's like an Antuku Husk, and it gets like, if it's something you
Yeah.
need to be wary of, because if you don't deal with it, one unsafe block can end the game.
I mean, doesn't Blood Baron just like not die to anything?
No, it does. It really does. Unless you enchant it with Stab Wound, it does not
Right.
die.
You
Yeah,
have
it's
to have
just-
you have to have persistent damage, or it's just gonna make it through.
Man, if only Demystify was legal in this format.
If only. We can
Alright.
What is there? What's
Oh.
with the Rakdos Shred Freak in the sideboard?
for devotion.
Quit
Yeah.
That's literally
damage.
the only reason.
More damage, yeah.
Is,
And
is
then-
it just like? I'm sorry to interrupt. But is
No,
it
it's okay.
really just like not worth the main deck slot?
I would probably put it in over Blood
Well,
Baron.
I
I
mean,
would
here's the
go
thing.
that.
He's
Dennis,
playing
but-
like he's playing 3 of this Gutter Skulk over the Rakdos Shred Freak.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which
wow.
I'm
He's playing
am
the
the only
bears.
one confused about that.
He's scared
Yeah,
of
like
electric.
that.
Bears over
The
the
Shred
Shred.
Freak just seems better.
Yeah.
Like he's playing the worst bear over.
a hasty.
I mean, I'm
a
sorry.
hasty
but-
piker over.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but now I don't personally understand this format, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I mean, I think that was just a horrible decision on his part, and I can't help.
Apparently, he doesn't like
lucky.
trickery. Like
Yeah.
that's
Is
the
there really a reason?
But there's not really that much like trickery.
no,
And
because
do you
red
see
really
it-
isn't that strong of a color right now.
Do
No,
you see it? Do you see it main deck? Like,
I
Like
would
trickery.
go Rakdos over the Gutter Skulk.
Yeah.
practice what?
Rakdos
Oh, the
Shred
Rakdos
Freak
Shred
over
Freak.
Gutter
Yeah,
Skulk.
I agree.
I don't know. Maybe he thought he could get by with just mono black control, and he just wanted the Rakdos Shred Freak as like
Well,
backup
sure,
if he
he's
needs
got
it.
better in control though. Like,
Yeah, I
don't
know.
think-
It's just it's really confusing.
I've seen a few people out there who run the basically a red weenie deck, and maybe that's just to get out some early blocks or some early damage against red weenie, because with that heroic 1-drop for red, or the heroic 1/1, it can put on some early beats.
Yeah.
I forgot what it's called, but the guy that makes tokens, you mean?
Yeah. Oh no, not the Acroan, but the Hoplite, Satyr Hoplite.
Oh yeah, that guy is a real beast if you get him going. I agree. With
Yeah, he's a pain in the butt. But yeah, that's what I would. But then again, I would probably just leave Shred Freak in there anyway, because he
Yeah,
can walk
I mean,
that all day.
I'm not taking anything away from him, but like, there's no logical reason I can see why anyone would ever do what he's doing with playing the random Grizzly Bear over a Devotion to Black 2-mana 2/1 with haste.
Right.
I just don't see it.
Yeah.
And one card that is getting a lot of play is the Font of Return, where you get back 3 creatures from the graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
People love it. I can't blame them. When I saw
That'd
it,
be
I thought
really
it was
good
pretty
with
awesome.
That'd be really good with the Blood Baron. You sack your Grey Merchant and buy it.
That's the one. I think that's what one of the decks we talked about last time. Is I remember like someone had a sock outlet for a Gray Merchant deck, but yeah, like that's it. Like just sack and just burn them. It's mono black burn at this point, basically.
It
Yeah.
sounds insane.
Yeah, burn, get back, burn.
Grey
yeah.
Merchant, the uncommon common card.
Pretty much.
All right, let's see. Oop, what am I doing?
I mean, like, Fact or Fiction way back in the day was, like, better than 90% of the rares you would find in Invasion block, in my opinion.
Yeah. It still has value too.
Yeah, like, Fact or Fiction is still one of those talked about cards that everyone remembers, and it's like, yeah, never print that again.
Stop.
It's in Vintage Masters.
It is in Vintage Masters. That's
Yeah.
right.
That is true.
Besides that, in paper, if you still own the original Fact or Fiction, they still go for $3.
Yeah, they do.
Not bad.
So,
All right. The next two are also mono black, not running Blood Baron, but Godzo made it to top 4 where the others did not. So maybe there's something there. I don't know if the Gutter Skulks got him there, but
No, I'm pretty sure it's the Blood Baron. Like I said,
Yeah,
it's just like
it's
if
gotta
you
be.
do not block him, he can get in. Because you throw off enough bodies out with that deck, anyways, and if you don't block the Blood Baron once, that could be a 6 damage hit instantly.
so is it safe to assume that he has Blood Baron in the Blood Baron in there is just a scare tactic? That's not the direction he wants to go, but he wants people to think that.
I mean,
It's an insurance.
Oh,
I'll
sorry.
let you go first, Mike.
You sure?
Fine, I'll go first. It's like an insurance policy where if you need to, you can still bring on the pressure, but it's also something that needs to be respected because if you don't, like if you don't find a way to deal with it, it could just end you, like I said, in a swing if you don't block it.
Okay.
It's kind of
Yeah,
like the Tog from Affinity.
I mean, like, putting the fear of God in your opponent to the point where, like, your opponent's at, like, 8 or even just, like, 10 and you have 5 creatures, they have to chump it every turn and lose a creature.
Yeah.
And it just slowly chips away at them.
Okay. That makes sense. I was kind of curious about it.
I mean, that would be my theory. I could easily be wrong.
It's the same kind of reason why I used to run, or I ran Tuku Husk in my zombie deck, just because
No, we ran into Tuco Husk because Tuco Husk is a G, all right?
that dude's awesome. You don't mess with
That dude's a pimp.
that's funny.
I love that
And,
guy.
He really is good. We won so many games because of that guy.
Reminiscing. But anyways, next deck.
yeah, the Esper Fawns, which is...
Oh, he's doing the...
I'm pretty sure it's not... Yeah, I'm not... Pretty sure it's not Fawns. Hey.
Black
Merchant
slash blue
then.
white.
Yeah, here he is.
Yeah, basically to recur the fonts. And the other, like...
Only
flag sickness
3
and
Gray
whatnot.
Merchant. What in the hell is the idea behind that?
Yeah, that should be 4.
I humbly agree.
I guess it just one's replaced with the Archaeomancer is about it.
Well, I mean, really the only way you're going to get any value of it, I mean, he's only playing 2 Disciple of Phoenix and, what, like 1 other black permanent? I mean, he's not getting much value out of it, I guess. Yeah, I guess I can understand 3 in this deck.
Yeah.
I would cut something for a 4th.
What would you cut?
Well, looking at all the instants and sorceries here, like Devour Flesh, you got 4. Freaka's Cure, you've got 3. Pilfered Plans, you've got 3. Grizzly Spectacle and Read the Bones are your like only big. I want to get him back. And sometimes that's not even really good for you because if it's later in the game, you're down on life anyway, and you can actually almost put yourself into death with that. I would probably go after the Grizzly Spectacle and just drop that and probably add it because, like, I mean, you're not really. This is the mill one, right? Yeah, you're not really milling all that much with this deck.
No.
No, this deck is a Gray Merchant deck.
Yeah,
Yeah, get rid of Grizzly Spectacle, add the Grizzly Spectacle, and add that 4th Gray Merchant. Like, who cares about the Grizzly Spectacle? I mean, it's cute, but who cares?
Right. Yeah.
I don't even know if I like
it's
Pilfered
in the-
Plans.
No, I would agree with Mike first. I'm not a fan of Pilfer Plans, but I guess he is using it more or less just because, like, I need more draw.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
it's
but,
a
like,
draw trick.
Read the Bones is just 1,000 times better,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
yes, but
And I agree with you, but like that's the
Hey.
thing. That's like the only reason I can think why he's using it.
paying
Yeah.
2 life can actually hurt you in the long run.
Wait, why are we paying 2 life? Oh, for Read the
Oh,
Bones,
for
never
Read the
mind.
Bones.
Well, in
But no,
this deck, I can understand that because it is slow as hell.
Yeah, paying 2 life could actually hurt you. So, like that, I agree with 1 Read the Bones in this deck because you go 2 or 3 of them and start playing those and rely on those on draw. Your opponent is going, "Thank you for losing 2 life. Thank you for losing 2 life."
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
He got-
how
he
about
got-
this?
Shrugs off a lot of that for you too.
He got Dream Crushed in the top 8. Look at who he lost to.
So,
Oh,
He lost to the person he beat in round 4 to make top 8. What an upset. That is a shame.
Yeah, that'd be a pisser.
That would upset me.
So, but yeah, that's pretty interesting.
And then the last one is Grim Mancer, which is a junk deck. Kind
Yep.
of weird.
Junk
Um,
without the hexproof creatures.
Yeah, it's crazy. You got Oromancer, Hopeful Eidolon, Leaf Crown. Then you also have the Grim Guardian down there.
Yeah, that card's good. I
Yeah.
like him.
Grim
Wait,
Guardian's pretty
I'm
sick.
confused as to how this deck wins at all. Or am I just missing cards from what I'm looking at?
No, I mean, it's kind of like playing green, black, white, good
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, I mean, he only has. Am I looking at this right? It says he only has 11 creatures.
Let's see, 4, 4,
Yeah.
8, 11. Nope, is 15. If you look at the comments below, the actual.
Oh, okay. The
Oh.
list is screwed up. Okay, my bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's more due to
Yeah,
Gatherling than anything.
he's trying to. This deck is basically, I'm just gonna keep playing creatures and enchanting them and try to play out your removal.
Yeah.
Right. And then he's got the font and the Oromancer to get
Yeah.
just about anything back.
Also, this site doesn't. This site is separate from Gatherling.
This is separate?
Yeah.
Just to use Gatherling's internet.
No,
Okay.
that's what I thought. But when I first played it actually is its own site. Like
Oh.
after you sign up,
Yeah.
I forget who hosts it, but the host actually just gives you permission to post a deck list after.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Which shout outs to Gwyn because he's the one that's been hosting it all this time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's done a bang-up job. I also read his article whenever he puts one out, too.
Yep, Gwyn
Good
is a
stuff.
bro. He does write for puremtgo.com, the greatest site in the world. Next to, I guess mtgostrat.com. I'm sorry, Dad. I'm sorry, Brennan.
It's magicgatheringstrat.com.
God damn it. I don't even know what the name is.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I'm such
Yeah,
a bad
all right.
coworker.
Okay. Let's see. And that rounds out the top 8.
Do you have any comments on what I just said, Chris? To being a bad coworker?
No.
You know what, Chris? You know what? I have a favor to ask of you. Since next week is the last episode, I want you to go in. If you have any anger towards me or Nate or Peter after we came on this show, I want you to just go in. If you have any anger towards the three of us, I want to see you just go in. I want to hear the ghetto Chris Plummer.
5 minutes
That
of
is what I
hate
wanna
with Chris
hear.
Plummer.
I don't.
Chris is good at venting it. Have you not watched our Skype chats before? They're hilarious.
I
They
don't know
remind
if I can
everyone of
do
like
that.
us firebombing something.
Yeah, no.
Good
Yeah.
times.
We have someone, Mike, do you have the Twitch set up? We have someone wanting to join us on Twitch.
What?
What?
Simon and Chini or somewhere. He wanted, like, we said something about Twitch last week. You were going to try getting that set up, and he wanted to join us on Twitch right now.
Right now?
Right now.
I can't do it right now. I can.
I'm
do
just
it.
to tell him next week.
Yeah, that was next week. First of all, Twitch has unfortunately been no help to me, except for my title
Am
update.
I going to have to set mine up?
No, I can do it.
There we go. I took care of it.
Don't worry. The last episode will be streamed.
Okay, I took care of it.
Okay.
All right, you guys want to talk some finance?
Go for it. You go
Dan,
first,
it's all
Dan.
you, man.
Me?
Go first, Dan.
Somebody talk about it.
Nate, what
Well, I
about
see that there's a
conspiracy?
note.
Dan,
Yeah.
go first.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go first?
No.
Yes, I want you to go first.
It's
Okay.
desperation. I don't have my stuff. Please cover.
I still gotta look. I still gotta open the site for my section.
The big thing right now then is Vintage Masters, of course.
The MTGO card market has just plummeted due to it.
Yeah, and don't buy it yet. It actually recoiled yesterday, so prices are up but supply is
Yep.
steadily coming in, so Winter's Masters should drop, and if it behaves anything like Modern Masters, the lowest prices for the chase cards should be around June 27. Commons and uncommons are dropping like flies and will be very, very cheap much later. I just picked up a couple of Chain Lightnings for 0.2 cents.
Wow.
Screw you all.
So
I paid $1 for all of them.
yeah. The other big thing is modern PTQ season, which failed to happen on Magic Online, and modern prices are quite uncertain. People are testing for paper PTQs, but modern prices didn't go as crazy as they were expected to. Wizards promised to bring back PTQs for modern PTQ season, but as usual, they did not deliver on their promise.
What is your opinion on the power? Should it be picked up now? Should it be picked up later?
June
And
27th.
if so, how long?
June 27th. 2 weeks in is
Okay.
the traditional for a set like this. Then is the time when the chase cards should bottom out. So definitely
All right.
don't pick up anything right now unless you can get Chain Lightnings for 0.2 cents.
Has anyone heard anything about foil power?
Yeah, it's out there. It's expensive.
I saw a tweet. Someone from Wizards actually tweeted when the first foil power was opened. They're like, we don't know who it is, but congratulations.
Wait, is this like gonna be like Willy Wonka and
It's
the
time
golden
Pretty
ticket?
much.
This time walk.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it.
Willy Wonka.
I got a golden ticket!
I gotta go the
Johnny.
ticket. Someone's gonna say, "Oh, we found the last one." Hold Tom Tucker. That was a fake one. Everyone
I
proposes
like
one's
it.
gonna get to go to the magic printing factory at Wizards of the Coast.
MTGO Traders doesn't have a single foil power card.
I actually
Supernova Bots hasn't even listed it yet.
Yeah, they're
actually
ridiculous.
wouldn't mind
rare.
hanging out with Mark Rosewater. Just saying.
What?
If they did a golden ticket thing and that you got to spend a day with Mark Rosewater, I would go for it.
Only if he wears the Willy Wonka purple.
I'll
I'm good
only
with it.
do it if I can ask him what the hell is he on, and he
Why?
tells me the truth.
I think he's on medication to slow him down.
I was about to say, I think he's just high on life, bro.
Yeah, he
He's
is.
high on life.
I love his podcast, by the way. I just want to shout that out. I love Drive to Work. That show's awesome.
Like, he is one of the most entertaining guys to listen to. He talks faster than the speed of light.
Yeah.
He is. I got to admit, he is way too happy.
I spent some days in his company in Seattle, and it was before he started working for Wizards. We were like, "Who is this hobbit jumping around?" We were like, "This guy is too much."
Is he really that short?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, he's pretty short.
he's like
He's the
2
Hobbit
feet
of
tall.
Magic the Gathering.
I know that he's like almost legally handicapped in terms of height. At least that's what I've heard.
What?
Yeah, but he was
I-
quite.
Isn't
you
4'11"
noticed
like
him a
legally
lot.
handicapped in height?
Oh, like you get the special
Yeah,
parking pass?
yeah, and stuff like that. That's what I've heard.
No.
Like Family Guy, like the dwarf among midgets.
I know. I feel like we're coming very close to me having to edit some stuff here.
The
We're
last
coming
thing,
down with a censorship stick.
last
Yeah.
thing
Hey,
about
we're coming
finance.
down to the last few times that we're gonna be together, man.
That's sad.
Yeah, right. Ever.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to come up with a good reason that we're bullshit right now.
So, any more financing, Dan?
Yes.
Yes, I apologize.
This is the time
Go
to
for
pick up your Theros block cards if you want to play standard for the next year. So pick up playsets. I don't know how good Theros block is for investing actually, because it seems much better to invest in Vintage Masters or Modern once PTQ season ends. But you should definitely get your playsets for Theros block right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Pro tip, Perforos. Perforos
Yes,
is the keeper.
Perforos.
Someone needs to drive
God
the
of
pack
Targier.
prices for Theros up. so I can sell my 19 packs for 3 tickets each.
You should just wait until the fall.
Dude, I've been waiting for like X amount of months.
Yeah, but it's still being drafted, so
I know.
yeah. You should be able to get close to 4 tickets in February, March.
Yeah.
I hope that they go through the same process that Return to Ravnica did.
There's a lot more Theros packs than Return to Ravnica packs.
That is true.
Because of the draft structure and because of the growth of the game.
Yeah.
Oh god.
But having said that, I have 100 packs myself, so
Yeah. I know what you.
it seems like a very safe
Wow.
thing. And it's actually good pickup right now. That's it for finance.
Yeah, if you pick up Theros packs now, you'll probably make like at least $1.50 on every one of them
Yeah.
in the fall. So
I think you should be able to make like
pretty
30% at least,
All right.
relatively safely. Yep.
MTG
you want them done,
Finance.
Nate?
Huh?
All right, now we're done.
No. MTG Finance on the paper front. Conspiracy dropped, and when it first came out, a lot of your reprints were really, really high end. Were really, really up there. Like Dak Faden was the big guy, and he was Dak Faden was your big guy, and he actually went for like $50, like first on release. He dropped to 30 now. I think he's gonna hold $30 because he's really good. He's like
that's
he's
that's
the premier
usual
card from the
Planeswalker
set.
price. Yeah.
Huh?
That's the usual Planeswalker prices.
Yeah, the usual Planeswalker price. But they took it a week after release. All the conspiracy cards took a huge dive. Like a lot of them lost anywhere from 50% to 30% of their value. But it's not. I don't find that all surprising, being that a lot of your cards in this set are reprints. Like, really look at this set. Like, I want to say at least 75 to 80% of the cards in Conspiracy are all reprints anyway. So it's not a surprise that they went down. But if you're a EDH player, then this set is awesome because they did do reprints. Your key cards that are in almost every EDH deck, like Mirari's Wake, Pernicious Deed,
Stifle.
Stifle, Phage the Untouchable. All these cards are down. They're cheaper than the originals. So if you're one of those EDH players that wants those key cards, it's the time to get them is now. Because I think eventually they will go back up.
I mean, there's got to be so many copies of them in circulation. I mean, I've heard in the last 2 weeks, even just around my local stores, that there were so many, not just boxes, but drafts going on.
Yeah.
There were so many packs open, it wasn't even funny.
Yeah. And the retailers are having a hard time dealing with conspiracy because, like, retailers, the people that sell, like the card shops, they map their booster boxes, like, so they can tell you know what good cards would be left in a box. But there's so many good card reprints. They reprinted the crap out of so many good cards that a lot of retailers have pretty much said that, yep, we can't map this. Like, there's so many awesome reprints in these boxes that it's impossible to map. Anyway, I believe it because I bought a booster box of this, and when you're opening I opened 2 explorations, a Mirari's Wake, Misdirection, a Stifle, I wanted 2 Swords to Plowshares. I mean, that's not normal. Like, to pull that much good stuff in a box is not normal.
Are you unhappy about it?
No, I'm not, but it's abnormal compared to your normal booster box pickups.
But
Well, I mean-
aren't some of these cards expensive just because they were in extremely short supply before Conspiracy? They were ancient
Well,
cards.
like Reflecting Pool got reprinted, and I know that one's
wait a minute.
another
Well,
big
wait a
one.
minute. Wait a minute. How many times was Swords reprinted? Think about that.
No, but I'm not.
But
Swords is the best removal ever, but some of the other cards, some of the rares.
Right, like, yes, Stifle.
no, I know. But my point is, like,
Vicious.
even Swords was like a $6 card, just because
Yeah.
almost every single deck in Legacy that packed Swords played 4.
Yep.
That's a
Yeah.
lot of copies of Swords that are needed.
Yeah.
But I'm
And that,
sure
I
there are
think-
some expensive cards that don't see a lot of play,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they should plummet.
Yeah.
Like
And,
Pernicious Deed didn't see a lot of play, but it was still an expensive card.
yeah, and like, if you don't count Conspiracy, the only time Swords to Plowshares were printed after 3rd edition were
4th
like
edition.
your subsets, Battle Royale anthologies, Battle Royal, Cold Snap as a special reprint, Collector's Edition, Conspiracy, Dual Decks, Elspeth versus Tezzeret from the Vault 20. Like, you're only seeing those reprints in special sets.
Yep.
So, I mean,
Not just that, you're seeing them in sets that aren't draftable.
yeah. This is like the first draftable set it's been in a long time, so.
Yeah.
But no, it's like right now the prices are down. I'm thinking eventually the higher end reprints will go back up. So like I would buy them now while they're low, because as Conspiracy gets older, it's like right now it's the new hot thing and everyone's still drafting it. But after Conspiracy gets older, you're gonna see a lot of these prices climb back up. So it's pretty good to get right now.
I mean, here's the problem. Like right now, there aren't as many Legacy players using 4 copies of Source of Plowshares as there will be like 2 years from now.
Yeah.
So yes, the lack of Source of Plowshares that are in the world is going to just drive the price up. It's the simple supply and demand method.
Yeah. So, but that's all I really got about finance, just with the Conspiracy and they're really, really hot on eBay right now.
eBay.
So, I mean, like, like any Conspiracy card is hot on eBay. It might be a $3 a card, but if they're selling them on eBay, they're going $1 over their actual value, and people aren't even batting an eye over it. They're paying it. So,
That's pretty impressive.
huh?
eBay.
So that's impressive.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
I still
Cool.
refuse to use eBay after it got hacked because I don't trust it. So
But yeah, so I mean that's just what finance. That's all I really got on finance.
All right.
Do you want to do topic 2 or 1 first?
let's do topic 2 first.
Yeah.
Because topic 1 is really what this episode was supposed to be about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Topic 2 then.
Who submitted this
I did.
topic? Go for it, Dan.
As usual, I think that Wizards know what they're doing, and Wizards wanted to kill Pauper. At least they wanted to hurt Pauper because Pauper was bad for them. But I don't think they intended Pauper to die this hard. I think they wanted the Premier events to run, and they are seeing that the Premier events are not running. So I think, actually I should have mentioned that during finance, but I think Pauper cards are pretty risky but good pickup right now. And I think I know one way they could resurrect Pauper, and that's constructed leagues. Did any of you play leagues when they were around?
I didn't play constructed ones, but I played
They
limited ones.
have never had constructed leagues, but this time when they
I thought they had.
when they reintroduce leagues, there will also be constructed leagues, and I think that is the format that would be perfect for Pauper. So when you play a league, you play for a couple of weeks, and you get to play the same deck. In constructed leagues, you will have to play the same deck for the entire league, but it's much more casual than any tournament format on Magic Online today. And I think that's the home they want for Pauper. And Pauper, so I really expect that Pauper could be resurrected this way. And if they don't include Pauper in constructed leagues, they truly hate Pauper because it seems to be the perfect format for the constructed leagues.
I think there's a very, very fine line between the word hate and not caring.
Yeah, but I think Wizards care. I think their decisions are made for some sort of reasons, and they look at their bottom line all the time. I think they could get players playing constructed that wouldn't otherwise if they had these leagues. Because I think they have identified that there actually was a purpose to Pauper.
What was the purpose, in your opinion?
To be the gateway drug. To introduce people to constructed.
To be the gateway drug?
Yeah.
That's a really, really messed up way of looking
But
at it.
that's the
right?
big argument for
it's true,
Pauper,
though.
right? That's why we thought the
is
dailies
true,
wouldn't
it's
go
just-
away.
How many times have we joked that Magic in general is what's it called? A drug in general. Like
Drug?
Nate
Cardboard
always goes like,
crack?
I gotta do this
Oh,
to
yeah.
pay for my
No,
habit.
no.
Right,
Hold on.
cardboard crack. Yeah.
I mean, magic is like the end drug. It's what happens when you start with weed and just go straight to LSD.
Yeah, so you quit crack heroin and went to Magic?
Yep.
I think we're going.
It's easier on the body.
Yeah.
Most of the
It
time.
is,
I think we're going. I've never taken LSD before, so I wouldn't know.
Like,
And now you're
I
taking
didn't grow up in the
LSW.
60s.
like,
LSD, I like that.
yeah, I don't know. I think Pauper could possibly be resurrected, but like my problem with it is the fact that when Wizards did kill it, it left a really bad taste in my mouth. Like them just up and just not even really gradually trying to move away from it, but just we're done.
But they know.
Just ending it like we're done. Just it kind of really left a bad taste in my mouth and really makes it, for me personally, that it's like, makes me not want to even do the format ever again because of that.
But they do
I-
these
I
kind of
think-
things because they know that the player base always comes back.
Yeah.
Like, they've
and
done so many
but-
things that people said they would
but-
quit and they didn't.
Yeah, but I think you're going to have a percentage of players that will have that bad taste in their mouth and just won't come back because of it.
Yeah, and I think that's part of their calculation. They're willing to take that, as they always have.
So, but I mean, I'd love to see something. I mean, I'm not going to get rid of my MTGO account because every once in a while I might want to jump on and play every once in a while. But if they start up leagues, great. I mean, I would probably be up for maybe trying it once or twice.
Yeah.
But it's I don't. To me, the future looks pretty dark, and it's just that kind of bugs me.
Actually, I have a really hopeful vision as well. What if they give us standard Pauper constructed leagues?
Yeah,
I'd play it.
I would.
Yes, we know, Brennan.
I would.
Hey,
I
don't
think
be
that-
shitting on standard Pauper.
Standard?
I'm not
I-
shitting on it. I just took a pot shot because it was funny, Brennan.
I used to be primarily liking Pauper better than standard Pauper, but standard Pauper seems to have a little bit more wiggle room where there is no wiggle room in regular Pauper. Like
Yeah,
decks are your
fact-
decks, and that's
Right.
it.
The fact that standard Pauper changes so often, even more often, during the year, and I know you can say rotation in October, but even every new set is, because it's such a limited card base, something new can come along,
Yeah.
and that's what I find most interesting about it.
You know what I compare Pauper to? How many of you guys actually have played Hearthstone?
I have.
Besides me.
I have.
I just started playing it.
But okay, Dan Brennan, have you guys like instantly played it? Like, played the ladder and everything?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
a little bit.
Now, if you notice in Hearthstone, there is a very, very limited number of cards that are actually playable. So when you have a card like, instead of certain types of decks playing certain cards, like, there's a bunch of green cards in the format, but you're not going to see, you're going to see Tarmogoyf in a zoo deck and a mono blue control deck splashing Tarmogoyf. You're not going to see Walden the Coddle in the deck. But in Hearthstone, it's different. You have, where you have like the Sun Fury Protector Yeti thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what you have. In Standard Pauper, it's the same thing. You have such a limited card pool. So so people are going to play random cards like that. There's too much. I honestly believe the reason why people love Standard Pauper so much, and this is not a bad thing. There's so much variance because you can just come out of nowhere with cards that people forget about over time.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very true.
The biggest problem with Classic Pauper is that's just not possible. Like, Delver will always be better than half the cards you're going to play. Same thing as Counterspell. Like, Counterspell will always be better than Mana Leak.
But that's
You're never
true
going to
for
always
any
be the
eternal
counterspell.
format.
Exactly. Like, I believe Standard Pauper can survive. I think Classic Pauper, though, Dan, it's had its day in the sun and it's done. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't every Pauper writer, except for like me and a couple of other people, quit after the dailies were done? They just they just threw in the towel?
Yeah, but that's
Or am I
because
wrong?
the dailies were gone.
Yes, but is that really what defines the format? Like, when I started writing about the format, we didn't have dailies.
True.
Like, is that really what defines a format?
I don't think it is, so that's why I think it will come back. And actually, Pauper it isn't dead right now, but it's extremely casual.
No, but you're not you see, you don't think that, and neither do I. But the fact that most of the Pauper veteran writers, I'm not going to name any names, but most of the veteran Pauper writers up and quit. Even most of the veteran superstar players quit after dailies were done. So it makes everyone believe that if there are no dailies, there's no point in playing Pauper. And it's already poisoned everyone's mind. I honestly don't think there's a way of going back on it.
Yeah, your grinders quit as soon as the dailies are done.
Yeah, of course they did. But I think the videos I post for Pauper, they are as popular as ever. I think there's a lot of people playing it casually.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the casual scene... I really hate to say this, but the casual scene is not enough to make Wizards want to give anything to Pauper.
No, I don't think they will do it out of the kindness of their heart, but I think they need it as a nice introduction format to the constructed leagues, because standard is expensive, modern is expensive, so what will people be playing in the leagues?
Yes, but for casual players, you have EDH and the casual room for people who just want to mess around.
Yeah.
Like, Magic has unfortunately become this type of sport where there's streaming going on, there's Pro Tours, there's Grand Prix, there's more money than ever before being given away.
Yes.
Like, Wizards doesn't care about an introduction. Like, you want an introduction, watch a standard video by any Channel Fireball writer. There's your introduction. Like, Magic has become pay to win, and I don't think Wizards cares about that. I don't think that they tried to make it that way, but I think I think they fully accepted it.
I think we're approaching a much bigger issue. That's Wizards' attitude to Magic Online.
No, but that also defines Pauper, because in Pauper it's not really pay to win because it's so cheap. And Wizards, like you said it 1,000 times already, Wizards doesn't want that.
Yeah, they don't.
It's
They
a really
don't want
sad
to sponsor it by dailies, but they did want to sponsor it by premier events, and that didn't work out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the community.
And they actually upped the premier events to a point where they were plus EV. But he still didn't fire because the commitment was so big in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they want
Plus, you
Pauper around.
don't sleep. I mean.
Okay, I won't get
So-
into the Magic Online thing because that'll take forever.
Yeah. Well, I heard.
Yeah, that's going to take a long time.
That's a different beast.
I heard there's a lot of people that don't like the beta, and a lot of people that are just getting as much play. I've heard this, and I don't know if it's true or not. But there's people that have come out and said that I'll play until they force us on the beta, because once they force us on the beta,
Right.
I'm done.
Yeah, I am.
That's my biggest fear from from if nothing else, a finance
Listen, I'm gonna say
perspective.
this. I'm gonna say this now, and I'm gonna add words to what Michael Jacob has already said 1,000 times over. What a beta is, and Chris will understand this, because let's take Battlefield. All right, let's take Battlefield. Let's say Battlefield 3. They had a beta. It was 3 months to get some bugs worked out. You're not a beta if you're 18 months in. That's just not what a beta is. That's a second client.
There's a larger issue at play there that kind of deals with video games as a whole, as what constitutes an alpha and what constitutes a beta at this point. But I think that ultimately with the conversation about whether or not Wizards quote unquote killed Pauper, I mean, I think that I tend to fall more on Dan's end of the spectrum, which is they quit they stopped the daily events, so we lost the grinders. But I mean, that would have happened to modern, that would have happened to standard, that would have happened to any format whatsoever. We just happen to have a vested interest in the format.
It happened to classic.
True.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where just from my perspective, it's like, yeah, that was kind of a given. And while the grinders were kind of like the quote-unquote celebrities of the format, it doesn't necessarily mean that the health of the format has declined because of it. I think that the spotlight and the visibility of the format probably declined because of it. Just looking at my Twitter feed and looking at articles and Facebook and all that stuff, if less people are talking about it, it's going to seem smaller than what it really is, but that might not necessarily reflect on the health of it as a whole.
Yeah.
Would be my initial thought to that. And the other thing, I had another point too. I'm going to lose it. Let me see. We had the grinders going away. What is interesting is how they're going to, if it does. One of two things is going to happen. It's going to remain a casual format, or we're just going to get a new batch of grinders to fill that void. But from my own personal experience, you talk about casual formats. People would rather play Commander, and for me, that's categorically untrue. I'm not a fan of Commander. I would rather have a 60-card deck and play some sort of constructed format, even if it's completely casual. So I don't know. I guess I'm just providing a counterpoint to what it is I'm hearing.
That's understandable. I mean, Commander's not for everybody.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
but it's just, I don't know. I guess I'm of that category of Pauper player that when they took the dailies away and the news cycle started becoming less and the writers started becoming less, it was just left a really bad taste in my mouth. And it's like, do I really want to get back, if this does get revived, do I really want to get back into this only to find out that they're going to kill it? I'm going to get all amped up and excited about it again, and they're going to kill it again.
I mean, here's the fact of the matter, right? Is it possible that we can ever trust Wizards again as a Pauper community? Because I'm not sure if we can, because they're more than capable of doing this again.
I think you trust them just as much as you would trust McDonald's to bring the McRib out on a regular basis, which is to say that they're a corporation and they're free to do whatever it is they want.
Yeah,
But that's the problem.
I feel like it's my attitude to Microsoft. I hate a lot of stuff they do, but I have to use it. And I have to play Magic because it's a great game. So
Yeah, and we've had this argument before about what Wizards owes to its fan base.
Yeah.
And we're going to fall on opposite ends of the spectrum of that as well. So I'm not too keen to bring it back up. But
No. I'm sorry to interrupt. That's not what I was trying to bring up. What I mean is, let's say they bring dailies back and we get a new batch of grinders. can we trust them to keep Pauper around this time?
Why would dailies come back?
Okay, I'm just speaking in like if they were going to try to revive Pauper to make it as popular. Yeah, to make it as popular as it was again. Whether it's make leagues,
No, that will
dailies,
never happen.
something.
They will never make Pauper a plus EV format again.
So then why would anyone... I mean, the whole point of Moto is grinding for most people. Even Pauper became that way.
No, because...
no, the whole point...
The leagues were...
The whole point of Moto...
Sorry, go
Sorry,
ahead.
Dan, go ahead.
Oh.
Okay, I'll go.
Yeah, go.
The whole point of Moto and the whole point of Magic the Gathering is to play a card game. The point of Magic isn't to make money or to make a career out of it. The point of it is that it's a game. And the point of MTGO is it's a way to play the game online.
I don't think a lot of people think of that way.
Well, that inherently gets to the point that, you know, where people start to feel like Wizards owes me something, or how could Wizards do this to me? It's like because they're a business and they can do what they want.
Yeah.
And if they don't support daily events for something so that I can have positive EV, I mean, I don't get positive EV out of playing a video game. I don't get positive EV out of buying Hearthstone packs if that's the route I go with it. I don't get positive.
I get happiness out of playing video games. That's positive EV for me. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, and I mean that's but you know that's inherently.
No,
I know. I get what you're saying. That's inherently the difference. Is that these grinders and these people who are quote unquote, you know, professional Magic players and Hall of Famers or whatever. That's not what Magic is. Magic's a game.
Yeah.
And a game, it's something that you enjoy in spite of the fact that you have to spend money to play it.
Well, I mean...
And I think at least, I pretty much know, at least 95 to 98% of players are thinking exactly like you're saying, Chris.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how I want to put what I wanted to say.
Can I add something? As you guys
go for it.
didn't play Leagues, Leagues is by far the format I play the most on Magic Online. They were great. They lasted for...
Leagues were fun. They were fun.
Yeah, they were 4 weeks, and they were horrible EV, but
yeah, they were
so
terrible.
much fun. But one of the reasons they broke down was that there was rampant cheating. So that's what has been so hard to figure out about Leagues.
Yeah, the problem with Leagues was... Well, there were two problems. One... After version 3 came out and Wizards decided to make everything in-house, their programmers didn't know how to design a server good enough for Leagues to not crash Moto.
Yeah.
But the bigger problem was there would be people out of I don't know, just a random number, 500 people that would join the Leagues, there would be 30 different people with like 5 different accounts.
Yes.
And that was really bad for business.
Yes.
Oh wait, in terms of Triple H, that wasn't good for business.
But I mean, I think that inherently gets to the breakdown of kind of where there's almost a sky is falling mentality in reference to Pauper, and that's because, you know, I think I look at people who would do a league event and, you know, quadruple or quintuple queue something, and it just boggles my mind because I mean, go gamble, go play 21 or something instead.
I don't know how people quad queue. I've watched friends triple queue, and it's just nauseating to watch them go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I don't know how they do it.
And you know, ultimately, that's not what, you know, Magic was made for, and ultimately, that's, you know, realistically not what the MTGO client was made for. And just because there's a very vocal minority that's trying to tell us that that's what it is, it doesn't make it true. You know, the truth of the matter is it's a video game or a physical card game made by a company that wants to make money doing it.
Yeah.
And I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
And they're pretty good at it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're really good at it.
They're fantastic at it. And they're fantastic at listening to what their fan base has to say for a company that is obviously in it to make money. You know, there's...
Oh, sorry. I thought you were
people will complain about Wizards not listening to them enough, and not have the foresight to realize that out of all of the company, you think Activision is going to listen to you when you tell them you want this
I
instead
would
of
not
that?
have brought up that company.
Well, that's exactly, it's exactly the same thing. It's like people are looking at it as a glass half empty, when in reality it's a glass half full type of situation. And, it kind of gets to the, to kind of throw it into just a little bit of perspective would be, this show coming to an end. It really, I mean, it's tough to find news and it's tough to find articles and it's tough to find things to talk about when those vocal minority have given up on the format because of reasons like EV and things like that. But it doesn't mean the format's unhealthy. The reality of the situation is where we are in our lives right now. The show doesn't have the, I guess for lack of a better term, the show itself doesn't have the EV as far as like taking up time. I mean, me being
It doesn't have enough coals left in the barbecue to keep going.
well,
And-
yes and no, but I think ultimately for the majority, a good portion of the show hosting wise has kind of moved on. And I mean, I
True.
didn't stop playing. I didn't stop playing Pauper because I thought the format was dying. I didn't stop playing it because the EV was bad. I stopped playing Pauper because I didn't have time to play Pauper anymore. And to me, it felt
that's
like it would be
perfectly reasonable.
yeah, it felt like it would be a disservice in some ways to continue being.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from the last 20 minutes and introducing the show, I haven't had a whole lot to contribute.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I am too. Like when I originally brought up to you that I was interested in like just resigning from at least the lead the head main hosting. It's just I I can't find any news. Like I don't know what to talk about. Can't find any news. It's like I could talk about deck lists because I've been playing Magic for so long. I can look at a deck list and understand what's going on. But at the same time, it's like I feel like a complete d-bag because I haven't had time to play a lot of the play online a lot, and just it seems like Pauper's just not as prevalent as it was before.
I mean,
Go ahead.
I was trying to think of the way to put this. When I first started doing Pauper videos, it was because as a person trying to get into a somewhat video type of career in Magic, because that's how much I loved the game back then, I was searching for that format that I wanted to bring to the table. I mean, tons of people did limited. I did not have the resources I had back then at that time in my life when to play standard or anything like that. And at that time, I mean, Star City was starting to do videos, and I think in what not videos, but there were starting to be videos online about standard and everything. And then I discovered Pauper, and I started off by doing goblins for X amount of months, and then I finally built up enough to build any deck I want. And contrary to what most people believe, my purpose was not to try to be an expert on the format. My purpose was not to, be a Channel Fireball or Star City type of, person to show. I was not trying to show you the format from a Pro Tour level. I was trying to introduce you to the format. I was doing deck techs of decks to introduce to you. But in recent weeks, I had refused to give up on Pauper for, I don't know, the last 2 months. And it's no secret that Pure MTGO does give a little bit to the people who post articles. But, I mean, I've said this 1,000 times, I'll say it again. That is not the point of me posting for Pure MTGO. The reason why I post the reason why I write for Pure MTGO is because I want to write for a site that makes me feel like I'm doing something bigger than myself. I love Pure MTGO. It is a awesome site, and I love contributing to it. And I felt that I was doing Pauper videos just at that point just for the money, because I was doing the same Pauper decks over and over and over again, and it killed me inside. And one day
how are the views now? How many people read the articles compared to before?
my views used to almost be 1,000, and they went down to like 200 to 300.
Oh,
Yeah, it literally. I mean, you can ask Nate. I spoke to him for weeks. It ate me up inside.
Yeah, it did.
that I was posting them, and I felt like I was just doing it for the wrong reasons. And I couldn't do it anymore. I mean, I love Pauper. I'll always love Pauper. I was the first regular Pauper video person, and
yeah,
I will
that
always
was
be
back
able
in
to say that.
2009 or something, right?
2010, I think,
All
or
right.
something like that. Yeah, but I will always be able to say that. But in the end, it kills me to say that it seems like it was all for naught at this point, because no offense to anybody, but once the grinders were like, oh no, dailies will screw that, and then a lot of pauperizers were like, oh no, dailies to cover and write about, well screw that. That was the end, and it pisses me off. A format that I loved so much, that gave so much back to me, that I wrote about for so long. And yes, I I was one of the whiniest little bitches in the beginning, and I made it look very unfun, and I still apologize to people for that. But for that to be the be-all, end-all of the format, or at least the way it looks, that is just total bullshit. Pauper was never supposed to be a grinder format. It was supposed to be a fun format where you played like... I mean, back then we had Pauper events where if you won, it got you enough tickets to get into a standard deck. That was the privilege you got. We didn't have dailies when I first started recording for Pauper. Like, you all don't know how you had it. You had it really good as Pauper, as Pauper grew. Just because the end of the daily shouldn't have meant it was the end of Pauper. The premiere events, you know what that meant? It meant that Pauper went back to the old ways.
Yes.
I don't have a problem with daily events. I think daily events are the absolute best thing for MTGO. But it should not have been the be-all, end-all for Pauper. And I think a lot of people should be ashamed of themselves for giving up on it just because the dailies ended.
I'm
I
not
mean-
giving up on it.
Oh, I'm
It's
sorry.
it's the cheap, eternal, deep format it's always been, and we are going to keep supporting it from Magic Gathering Strat on YouTube, on magicgatheringstrat.com. I'm gonna run the Pauper Gauntlet starting August 31st. So if you're still into Pauper, come check out Magic Gathering Strat, because we are not giving up on Pauper.
No way.
And I give it to you guys for that.
Yeah.
I mean, I was one of the people that helped start it, and I'm glad to see that you guys are still going to be giving it strong. I am proud to see Dan and Brennan keep it going.
Thank you.
And I hope nothing for the best.
And without
Yeah.
this
Absolutely
without this
nothing but-
podcast, which I will deeply miss, Brennan and I are gonna run a show on YouTube for the Pauper Gauntlet once it starts, once a week, and it will be maybe reminiscent of Pauper to the People. So check it out in September.
True that.
And I guess Mike already said it, but as it comes to this show in general, I remember picking up on episode 1 and 2, and that's when I started listening to it, and then I got really interested in it, and then I eventually became a regular host on the show, and I guess in all of this, when we sat down and when we're on Skype and we're talking about what we should do, because it's just I originally it was really hard for me to accept the fact that we had to let this show go, because This is the first Pauper podcast. There was none before this, and
This is the only Pauper podcast.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I remember when I first sent Chris that email, letting him know that I just can't do it anymore. It's just not working out. There's no news. I felt like I was really disappointing the community and failing Chris. But it's like I don't know what else I can do. Like I don't know what else to do to breathe life into this and keep it going.
And when I say that people should be ashamed, I understand it's going a bit far, but I am very passionate about Pauper, and the premier event should be firing every weekend, just like the old Pauper events did, just like the old Top 8 Pauper events did, because that's what the premier events are. They're better EV than the old Pauper events were, if I can remember correctly.
Yes, they're pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty freaking good. Listen, I didn't play in the dailies a lot. I don't have time on the weekends to play in the premier events. Does that, I mean, if that makes me lower that, if that makes it so that people don't want to listen to me just because of that, then I'm perfectly, I don't really care. I perfectly don't care. But, at least understand this. At least I was one of the people that tried. At least Chris Plummer and Nathan Youngkin and Peter and Olmsted and Dan Horning and I don't know Brandon's last name, but you get
Rankin.
There you go. But at least we tried. And we tried for weeks, and I mean, it wasn't a very easy decision at all. It really wasn't.
Yeah, there's. Yeah,
I mean, honestly, I think it hurt. I mean, Chris, honestly, I think it hurt you the most. Well, next to Dan, of course, but.
Well, here's ultimately the thing is it's not any sort of defeat or concession or anything. It really is just the majority of the hosting staff has kind of moved on to different things in their life. There was a part of me that seriously considered, why don't I just give the show to Dan, and or give it to, MTG Strat or Magic Gathering Strat or something of that nature. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized that, the show itself has gone through so many hosting changes.
Ain't that the truth?
yeah.
It can't.
Every podcast that has done 100 plus episodes have done that.
Yeah, that's true.
I wrestle with the idea of, is it better for a show that wants to come into existence? Is it better for them to pick up the mantle, or is it better for them to build their own identity?
May I interject for just 2 seconds?
Yeah.
Because, in all honesty, at this point with the hosts all finding times, I think I believe it's better for a new show to come up and not just carry the popular people mantle, because, in all honesty, they're not us. They shouldn't be held whenever you take something that carries the same name, people look at it in a different light. It's like, and they're always looking back and comparing. So, this way, if we're closing down and bringing the title down with us, if someone is to come up beyond them, they're all given a fresh look at. They're not judged against us.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want people to think like, Pauper has to be dead. I mean, even Pauper the People, is giving up. No, we're not doing that. It's just
Commitments at this point.
Yeah, one, it's IRL commitments. Two, it's other projects that we've all been working on. It's a matter of, because the grinders left, because a lot of the more famous, red, I don't really know where I'm going with this, but more of the, content producers that were read more often than others quit. People took a lack of interest in Pauper, and there was no new decks, there was no new content, there was no new tournaments. I mean, if you look at the simple couple of top 8 elimination events that they post the top 4 of. It's the same 4 decks over and over and over and over again. There's really no innovation anymore.
Yeah.
I will
And
prove you wrong in
it's
the
just-
Pauper Gauntlet. There will be 100 decks.
But unfortunately, like that's looking at
Damn
something
it,
in a completely
Dan.
different.
I'm trying to
like-
be serial here.
Okay, go
Like
on.
that's the beauty of the Pauper Gauntlets because it brings so many other decks that you normally wouldn't see into existence.
Yes.
But like just look at the last weeks of like top 8s. Like it's been like you've got our Delver, you've got our Mono Black Control, you've got a couple twists on like Affinity, and a couple twists on Goblins. So like for those competitive things, like yeah, we don't see a whole lot anymore. But like for the Gauntlet, that's why we're always happy to cover the Gauntlets because it gives you such a unique look on what you can do in the format.
What you're dealing with now in Classic Pauper is a baby legacy format.
Yeah.
Yes.
But even in Legacy, people try new things, people innovate, people really try to get creative. In Pauper, that's really not in anymore. It's usually, if you're going to see a mono black deck, 2 different mono black decks, 2 different Delver decks, 2 different Goblin decks, it's going to usually always be just the same 70 of the 75.
Yeah.
I think the big problem, like we've said this before, is like the reason why decks don't show up in Classics often anymore is because you need just one of those commons be printed at such a high level that it can define a deck
Yep.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like Delver came to be because Delver was formed. Mono Black is such a thing because Grey Merchant of Asphodel.
Yeah.
Like those cards that are borderline not common are what define like the new decks that come in.
I think
That's the other problem,
Your
is the
view
power
of this
creep.
is skewed because of the premier events. Because if you look at the premier events of Standard and of Modern, it's all the same. They have the same problem. And I guess Vintage and Legacy will too, because it's easier to 3-1 a daily with a Rogue deck than to top 8 premier event. So you see more Rogue decks in Modern, for example, because of the dailies. But premier events give a premium to the top decks. But if you look at Goldfish, for example, for the metagame where they include the 8-mans, it's not as bad as you think.
But to that regard, I
have
can agree with you.
I have a
but
big
the
point
one,
here about Pauper that
Okay.
I've been wanting to get off my chest for a year at least.
Go for it.
And I started Pauper as a grinder. I got back to Magic Online during Dark Ascension in 2012, and I looked for, okay, what can I grind? And I saw Pauper. I decided to grind Pauper. I had almost all of my tournament success. I was a winning player during 2012, and then I started a YouTube channel, and I was seduced by Pauper, as it was so fun to be casual in Pauper. So I'm a much worse player now than I was in 2012. And I stopped playing the dailies because those videos didn't get as many views because people wanted to see Rogue Bruce.
Yeah.
But during all this time with Pauper, I noticed that like no other format, some people treat Pauper as a religion. Pauper has been a very, very emotional format. And I never looked at Pauper that I don't love Pauper. I like Pauper because Pauper is an eternal casual format that's with a huge card pool, with a lot of possibilities for brewing. And that's what makes it nice. It's not... I don't get all these religious feelings about Pauper that you see from... And I think that was what made people quit as well. No, my religion is wrong. Let's go away. And I've had so many weird discussions
I really
with Pauper
hope that
players.
people didn't say that to themselves.
Yeah, no, they're probably not saying that.
I really, really hope that that's not what people said.
Yeah. But a lot of people were very emotional about Pauper, and I never got that.
And like,
it's kind of like I'm trying to find what a good analogy is.
Well, Vintage and Legacy are the same way.
Are they?
Yes. Well, I mean, Vintage is.
Okay. Oh, well,
In
I wouldn't
Vintage,
know.
in Vintage, especially here in the Northeast, especially in the tri-state area in Pennsylvania, plus and all that, a lot of us play the same deck, even if it's really bad. Like, a lot of my friends will play stacks, even if everyone's gunning for it, just because...
It's like the pet deck, or it's their thing.
that's
Isn't it
their
because
deck.
of the cost?
It's their baby.
No, it's not because of the cost. It's because it's what they enjoy. Vintage is their passion. Like at my local store out on, well, not really local, but out on the island at Mark's Comics, a lot of people, well, they're not playing, a lot of people are either playing EDH because that's our passion, or a lot of people are playing Vintage because, I mean, yeah, you can win cool prizes and whatnot, but because Vintage is a real, like, test of the skill, and you invest so much time and energy into Vintage, it just becomes a part of you. That was the thing about Pauper. In Pauper, the best rule was stick to one deck. And a lot of people just gave so much time and energy to Pauper. I mean,
You
I don't
sat there,
wanna
you
call it
learned all
religion,
the
but
deck matchups and stuff like that. It's like, okay, this is how this deck, this is my strategy when playing this deck against this. Like, it's a time investment, yeah, and a lot of it feels like it's stripped away, I guess.
yeah,
Is kind of what I was trying to get at.
a lot of fun about Vintage and Pauper is it doesn't change all that much. So you had a better chance of being the better player with the win. And you dedicated so much time to get that far. In Legacy and Modern and Standard, there's so much rotating because of the way that the formats are built. There's so much different card power. Like, there's not enough time to just stick to it. But even like look at Joe Lawson. Like, he is, without a doubt, in my opinion, the best Miracles player in Legacy right now. And he loves that deck. He takes pride in that deck. If Terminus and Counterbalance were to be banned tomorrow, I'm pretty sure Joe Lawson would be pissed off.
Yeah.
Because they killed his deck.
Yeah, well,
He,
yeah.
It's kind of like what happened to a lot of the players, like when Storm got banned. Like even
Grappling
Grappling
Farang?
Farang and stuff like, yeah, they was like, done.
oh, Grappling Farang was, he went, that was it. It was like they tore his wall down. He loved that. He didn't love the winning so much as he just loved that deck. He enjoyed that deck. He made Storm what it was, and they killed it. They killed his passion. That was it. I didn't see that in the beginning. I saw it as, oh, they killed his deck, he quit. No, it took a little while, and it took Chris to make me understand why he quit. It's the same thing with Jason Moore. His passion is White Weenie. That's his passion. It's the same thing with Goblins and me. Goblins is my passion. I will always love Goblins above any other deck.
Yeah.
If they ban most of the Goblin cards tomorrow, I was still playing Pauper as much as I used to, I'd be pretty pissed. Even though I play whatever I want, I'd be insanely upset. Because I spent so much time and energy into that deck as a failsafe, and I love playing that deck. I won't get to do it again. I understand how you maybe don't understand it, Dan, because you don't look at it the same way, but a lot of people did.
Well, here's where we're at. We're at an hour and 40 minutes of recording,
I'm tired as hell.
and we should probably...
Get on to the next portion.
Yeah, I think the dead horse on my floor. I don't really have a dead horse on my floor, but I think the invisible dead horse on my floor has been beat to hell enough.
Yeah.
So the horse is it's still there. We just can't see it.
Yeah.
He's saving it for later.
You can't prove that. Yeah, I'll tell you one thing: he ain't saying Wilbur anytime soon. All right,
Yeah, I don't
that
want-
went a little too far.
And this part's going to be... What I'm saying right now is going to be cut, obviously. And I don't want to upset or offend anyone, but I'm going to have to give this all a re-listen and find out how much of it's actually pertinent for the show.
Okay, makes sense.
Fair enough.
So I just want everyone to know now.
Yeah,
I understand.
Me too.
So,
we got
yeah.
listener appreciation now.
sure.
As long as this is actually still an episode.
Basically, okay, I'm just going to reiterate what I put on Facebook and just read it because I'm the one that wrote it. This is what I wrote on Facebook, and we have some people that commented on it.
Anyone send us emails at all?
I didn't find any.
I hope so. I don't know.
Didn't find any emails. But this is what I wrote. Just to reiterate, Kirk, I said, on behalf of the Pauper to the People crew, I'd like to thank all of our listeners for taking the time to listen to the podcast. and sharing your thoughts and ideas in the past 158 episodes. A decision has been made, and it has been a hard one to make, but with Pauper dailies and premieres gone, with the slow news cycles and very little news to actually report on, we have decided it would be best to close the doors for the final time on episode 160. Chris will be joining us hopefully for 159, but definitely for 160. It's only proper to have the boss there on the final show. Episode 159 we are dedicating to our list to the listeners. So if you have any thoughts or comments would like to share, please send them. And I put basically all our information.
We didn't get anything?
Yeah, it just I don't know.
That actually kind of hurts me.
If anyone cares to join, yeah, and I noted that we're gonna be doing the Twitch thing. But with the streaming, you're setting that up, Mike. And
Well, one person cares. That's all I care about.
and I and the crew are proud of our accomplishments within the Pauper community, and hope that through all the goofing around and fun we had on the show, that we still gave you, the listeners, the content and information you needed to play the format and enjoy our show as much as we did recording it. And it says, I hope to talk to all of you next week live. And then we have our comments here. Braden Defoe, he wrote, sad news, sorry to lose such good content. Thank you. Perilous Myrrh, you'll be missed, guys. Hope to see you around soon.
Oh, good old Perilous Myrrh.
And then Dan wrote his stuff, makes, well, you know what you wrote, Dan. Warren Connell wrote, that's a bummer, man. I'll miss you guys. Where will I get my Pauper fix now? And then we had Simon Anacini. Hope I didn't ruin your name or mispronounce your name too bad. He was wanting to be on Twitch today, but we'll be doing that next week. So he is
Sorry.
He will be joining us next week.
Sorry.
So, yeah, he'll be joining us next week on there. But as a whole, just I just wanted to put out there that, like, I started out as a listener on this show and was lucky enough to get picked up by Chris and eventually become a main host. And I enjoyed every show I ever did. I mean, I really enjoyed all of it, and it really helped me get started on a new podcast, which I will be going to after we're done with Pauper of the People, which I've already started. But no, I'm really thankful that Chris brought me on and stuff, because I've enjoyed every minute of this. So
You do realize that I was the one who suggested to Chris you come on, right?
I did not know that, but
Oh.
There's Nate not knowing things again.
but yeah.
Now I feel like an ass. I apologize.
But that's what I've got there. It's just people writing in, a lot of people read people on Facebook, and you know what? It doesn't really disappoint me that a lot of people didn't send stuff in. I mean, everyone, all our core listeners and all that, the ones that have been following us since episode 1. I mean, I think they're the ones that are going to most feel it, but we've had a few people like pick this up towards the end, but I'm pretty sure they've listened to all the other episodes, so I just thank everyone for tuning in every week.
I mean, I thought we had absolutely nothing, but now that I know we had at least a few people, I'm pretty happy that, we got the few Facebook messages. I mean, I know a lot of people are saddened, probably pissed off, but I mean...
Another thing too is like on that comment too, there's a lot of people who didn't really say anything, but they made notice of it. It's like, and they even like Maddie made sure to share it to everyone. Like,
Yep.
showed up. Like, so while a lot of people didn't see it, a lot of people have seen it, and either like gave us the sad nod of like, you know what, we're proud of what the work you did. Like, look at the number of likes or whatever. Like, everyone was like, it's their sign of like, we're proud of the work you guys have done, but we can't hold it against you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
That's what I
force
like to
Maddie
do.
to be. I'm gonna force Maddie to be on the show next week.
Yeah, you should be.
You should be.
He really should.
But I mean, the best thing I think we can do at this point is after episode 160, probably keep the forums open.
I mean, there's no reason why, I mean, there's really no reason why all of our friendships through the forum should end just
Yeah.
because the podcast has ended.
Yeah.
I discussed with Matty about starting a forum on Magic Gathering Strat. Now that we've been using Pauper to the People forums all this time, but we haven't decided yet.
Yeah.
You've been using it with good reason.
Yes.
No, I mean honestly, without this show, I wouldn't have the Commander HQ and how well that's gone.
Without this show, I would never have met any of you guys.
So I mean, I thank Chris for that because I wouldn't have a Commander HQ the way it is right now without him doing that. So
Everyone say thank you to Chris.
thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
You.
All right,
Love
let's
you.
end
Big
this.
ups, Chris. Big
Yeah.
He's a jolly good fellow.
Let's end this show for tonight. We can pick up the sappy shit next week.
Yes.
Wait,
doesn't have to follow the handkerchief yet.
I'm just starting to cry. Stop it.
I don't think
Single man tier, Brendan.
the Native Americans here.
Yeah.
So we're talking single man tier you get after watching Shawshank Redemption.
Yes.
Nate, I can't remember. How do people get a hold of us?
You can get a hold of us at paupertothepeople@gmail.com. And you can get a hold of me at the same website or same email address as well as commandershq2@gmail.com. I'm on Twitter at Nathan Yunkin, and I'm TGO name is NUCon. Next.
You know, you can specify. There's a bunch of us here tonight.
Yeah, you're the host, damn it.
No, not.
All right,
Chris.
Mike, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Well, you can get a hold of me also at Commanders HQ. What was it again? I'm sorry. Is it just Commanders?
Commanders HQ2.
Sorry, yes. You can get a hold of me at Commanders HQ2. You can get a hold of me actually on Twitter, because I do have a Twitter now, at MikeyK159. My name on Twitch and on YouTube is MikeyK159. I'm always checking my messages if you ever want to talk to me about something, even if it's Pauper. I'm always willing to talk to people about it. And if you see me on Magic Online, but you might not see me on often, I am MikeyK159 on there as well. I'm pretty much MikeyK159 anywhere you see me, so... Next.
Peter.
You can get a hold of me in the forums at Midnight03 and MTGO. If I'm on it, you can get a hold of me at Midnight03 there as well. If you want to talk pop or anything, shoot me a message. If I'm in a match, I might not respond right away, but I'll be more than welcome to get back to you. Otherwise, I don't have Twitter, but if you get a hold of Knight, he always gets a hold of me. So
He'll get one soon.
no, I refuse.
Peter the kickboxer at something.
We already had the joke that for some reason I was going to get a Twitter for episode 160 finally.
Okay, Dan.
Yeah.
That wasn't a joke.
I am a fan of history on Magic Online. You can find me. I'm doing the Fan of History podcast, soon to come to iTunes. I run the Fan of History YouTube channel. For my Magic stuff, check out magicgatheringstrat.com and the Magic Gathering Strat YouTube channel. Yep.
And Brennan.
All right. Same with me, magicgatheringstrat.com. You can also reach me at Brennan at magicgatheringstrat.com. Search Cerulean either online in MTGO or on Twitter. I'm there on both of them.
And last but not least,
Oh yeah, I guess we should do me, huh?
well, we don't want to
Twi-
do you, but
Well, first of all, now you're just lying. On Twitter, I'm at CMPlumber, and if you want to listen to my current project, you can go to playingforcheaps.com, and you can listen to us talk about, me and Matt, talk about video games.
I'd like to be on
Matt
that show
should be
at
on
some
next
point.
week.
He should be. I don't know if
we
that's
can
going to
find
happen.
him.
Chris,
Matt
go to his
wasn't-
house, kick in his door, and just drag him over. Good old-fashioned style.
Matt was never the most passionate about it.
I drug Matt
No.
kicking and screaming into this show.
Yeah, so just do it one more time.
One last time.
I guess we could. Are we gonna have Chris Weaver on next week too? I mean, he was a host.
Yeah, I'll try. Yeah, I couldn't get a hold of him. I'll make sure he's on next week.
Are we gonna call him Sam? We should call him
We should
Sam.
call him
No.
Sam all episodes.
Yes. We should seriously just call him Sam. Dude, seriously, we should just start off the show on the... I'm just going to start off by showing the Rage of the Week one. I'm just going to do it.
All right, so is that all of it?
Yep.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's a long show, dude.
We're going down. We're going down unprofessional. It was bound to happen. All right.
This is power.
Well-
It wouldn't be popular people style if we didn't.
Until next week. My name's Chris.
I'm Nate.
I'm Peter.
I'm Sam.
Mike,
I'm and I'm Brennan.
Even the inflection in your voice, you still sound happy. Are you just like physically incapable of being sad, Dad?
Yes.
yeah, you really are, bro.
And this is Pauper to the People,
Adios.
Pauper to the people.
the penultimate episode.
We have to be the most unorganized podcast that has ever been.
That's our
Oh,
show.
not even close, bro.
Really?
We're not recording anymore.
Okay.
So
Well, then I can say it. The A team is way more disorganized.
Yeah.
A team